Hey, how's it going? It's Ninja Tips here, and today I want to go over some Gnasher tips to help me out when I'm playing Gears 4. Before we get into the actual game though, one thing that helped me as a player was finding the proper comfort zone for my hands. So if you don't have the Elite controller where you can customize your thumbsticks, they have aftermarket ones too for regular Xbox controller as well. Getting to the game now, another part of that comfort zone is finding the right sensitivity settings for you. I currently have mine maxed out at 30 for look, target, and zoom. I started low and went up from there. It gets more difficult to control the higher you go, but overall it grants an advantage because you can make faster movements than the players using default settings. Just remember, high sensitivity allows for 360 turnarounds, which are very useful in battle. Speaking of useful, they have what's called the active reload, where if you reload at the right time, you give the fire rate or damage boost on the weapons. With the Gnasher, it's damage boost, and you can clearly see the difference when you decide to shoot at a wall. The shot patterns remain the same, but when you use active reloads, you can clearly see an extra glow and thickness to each shot. Another thing to worry about when using the Gnasher is deciding when to aim in with the weapon. It's obviously a more accurate way to fire, but when I created the habit of aiming in, each time I noticed that I was exposing my character's body, especially on open maps with no buildings or objects for cover, making it easier for my head to get blown off because of how still your character remains when aiming in. Therefore, a mixture of both is essential based on the situation. And when going against players with the Gnasher, listening to the Gnasher shot pattern rhythm or its rate of fire sound, you'll notice there's a short open window of opportunity where they can't fire, so making aim adjustments and firing must all be done in that short little open window. That's another good reason to raise that sensitivity level to ensure those aim adjustments can be made on time within each Gnasher shot. Also, when it comes to listening and raising the sensitivity, when you make a 360 turnaround, you'll notice, if you're wearing a 7.1 headset that is, that the direction and proximity of your enemies become easily audible, where you can strategically plan for the next kill, such as an ambush attack. It's a cheap trick, but it's very efficient. You're giving your opponent a fraction of the time that you have to prepare for the kill shot at those close proximities. After familiarizing oneself with the objects around each map, you'll start to notice that there's a very huge benefit to using the blind spots for those ambush attacks. I'll point it out in the next coming clips if I see one, where I run in towards an enemy but remain hidden outside their cone of vision. Aside from using ambush attacks, using blind spots, another easy kill giveaways when using the Gnasher happens when your opponent rolls and you are near that character. When they roll, it opens up a short but sweet window of opportunity for a one-shot kill, since they can't shoot while they're rolling. So timing really becomes key because you don't have to, you shouldn't take too long or miss that shot. It'll move back to respawn for you. The Gnasher's weakness is distance, so just about every weapon becomes except for the Enforcer, becomes a tricky way to get a kill, since you generally want to stay hidden from your enemy's sight, but close in on them for that close quarters battle. What helps me survive longer in between that closing in period is having the mentality that a sniper or MR has their eyes set on me. So naturally, I must make it harder for them to get a clear shot. And that's why I run in unpredictable patterns most of the time, or bounce off a wall, or halfway do it by faking the bounce. All I do is pull back on the left thumbstick while in the progress of taking cover on a wall or object. It just keeps your enemy guessing overall, and it makes it more difficult for them to shoot accurately at you. I mean, it's hard enough to keep up with paying attention at the bottom left-hand side of the screen where it displays what power weapon is being picked up and by which side. So just having that mentality set on standard, you survive for longer. I normally never rush an enemy too hard because when they retreat, they're probably doing a tactical retreat where they go behind a cover and wait for you for that one-shot kill opportunity. It's actually quite awesome to do. You should try it out. You have to get into the habit, however, of blind firing around the corner, because if you aim in, you're exposing yourself for longer, even if it's just for milliseconds, and you're actually giving your enemy that chance to identify you and counter your attack. One huge tip that I take into consideration for the higher chance to win a Gnasher battle is making that first shot that actually hits. When you have that, you're beyond that 50% chance of winning a battle. Since if you recall, shotgun rates of fire are set to a specific speed. So, if an enemy is shot after your shot, keep firing at the max fire rate of the Gnasher, then there is no way an enemy will be able to speed up the rate of fire and take an extra shot before you. Usually hitting the first shot, moreover, will make your enemy play passively instead of aggressively, since they're going to be wanting to recover from the damage you've given them. As soon as you see a sign of retreat, don't let them get away. Run in blind fire instead of pulling out the pistol and aiming in with the Gnasher, because the chances are they're gonna get away and recover. It just takes longer to do, and if they're gonna, they go around the corner, they're gonna have a shotgun while you still have that pistol close at hand. You can also get flagged at that time, and you still have a pistol in hand. So don't do that. Well, don't get into the habit of it, because it just doesn't help out. If you have someone lancering at you, just wait until they've wasted a good amount of their mag, and then rush, since it would be impossible for them to kill you with the remaining rounds. If you see them switching off to shotty, however, take a shot at them before that happens, to place you at the right rhythm of the Gnasher fire rates that I was talking about. Telegraphing is the key to making the right calls for taking shots as well. It just becomes about observing and timing. Once again, it's actually quite possible for both players to time their shots simultaneously at the same time, bro, and have each other's rounds impact with one another mid-air. If you keep that concept in mind, it should help you realize why you're getting BS sometimes. So keep that aggressive mentality and don't assume that you're making a kill shot because they can completely counter your attack if they respond fast enough and shoot at you at the same time. I'm not going to get into wall bouncing or tips on how to wall bounce in this video, but it's certainly something that is beneficial to maintaining map control because of how you can hear the directions of sounds with that handy-dandy headset each time you face a different direction, while making yourself a harder target to hit. I don't use the claw. I just use regular thumbs on my thumbsticks, so you don't necessarily have to learn the claw to wall bounce effectively anyway. For the most part, I keep wall bouncing to a minimum. It's simple canceling out of a running cover, and 180 turnarounds usually suffice for the count. I heard once you go claw, moreover, that you'll have a hard time going back to playing normal. The chances of one being effective at claw anyways is also a huge risk to take on, and a serious commitment to take on as well. One tip that really helped me out is taking shots with the Gnasher from a farther distance than I'm used to, because although it might feel that it's not doing much, it's actually hurting your enemy pretty good. It's got good reach is what I'm trying to say, so don't always go for the one-shot kill proximity shots because you're giving the enemy a chance to also do the same, even though it's so satisfying to do, trust me. I say this because I've caught myself wanting to do only those one-shot kill shots, and it messed up my game, wanting to only go for those kills. But it's not always going to work out that way, especially if you don't have those active rounds all the time, you know, on your enemies. And they respond fast enough to dodge it, so just don't underestimate the max effective range of the shotty. There's plenty of rounds to go around before having to reload, actually, and they all pack a punch if you're using those active rounds. So active reload frequently, as it always gives the upper hand in battle, and it actually doesn't take a long time to do so, just like the Enforcer. Going back to when to choose to aim in, I mainly only aim in if my enemy isn't facing me, because if I'm facing him and I aim in, then he can just easily get the same shot, easy shot that I can get on him. So no matter what, it's just always better to move around in blind fire. Well, one important thing that I also forgot to mention here is not actually taking cover when you have the chance not to. And what I mean by that is when you make your character take cover, they absolutely will always make an audible sound from impacting that wall. And this becomes useful to your enemy that is anywhere near you because they'll be able to hear it and guess where you're hiding. I always try to catch them off guard, so if I don't have to take cover and make that unnecessary noise, then I don't. I just try to stay hidden throughout the map, since that is really the easiest way to rack up kills fast without alerting the enemies of, my Lancer fire. Just a simple, just one-shot ambush attack does a trick to last a while. A little kill streak. If that's not the case, then you're facing multiple enemies. Use the tactical retreat to buy yourself some better battle decisions, and get those easy kills. There's still room for more tips, but for now, hopefully this helps. Later.